Conference Center for hosting the event this morning. None of these events, as you hear Brian and I and others that stand at this podium regularly for the Chamber say, none of these events would be possible without the sponsorships of our local business community. This morning, this event is sponsored by Wright Gardner Insurance. I'd like to ask Christian Wright, President of Wright Gardner, to come up and say a few remarks.
This isn't mine. 2014 marked our 100th anniversary for each of those years. We have been located in downtown Hagerstown. You can't get much more committed than that. As you will hear this morning from our mayor and city council, Hagerstown is taking action to create positive change in our city. We enthusiastically share in this desire to move our city forward. And I want to thank each of you for coming this morning, and hopefully you enjoy this morning's presentation. Thank you.
This morning we have many elected officials from the local community, from Washington County, from the City of Hagerstown, from the Board of Education here. I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize each of them. You always run a risk when you start naming names that you miss someone. So thankfully the Chamber staff is always good at trying to get me a running total of who's here and who's not this morning, so we're going to give it a shot. From the County Commissioners, President of the County Commission, Terry Baker is with us. Also we have three commissioners. Vice President, the Commissioner John Barr was not able to be with us this morning, but we do have Commissioner Ruth Ann Callahan, Commissioner Jeff Klein, and Commissioner Bill McKinley. From the Board of Education, this morning we have Vice President, or actually a President of the Board, Dr. Justin Harding's with us, Vice President of the Board, Donna Brightman, and Board Member Karen Harshman. And from the City of Hagerstown, we actually have the Mayor, Dave Geiser's here with us this morning, along with all of the councils. So we have Councilman Christian Alshire, Councilman Marty Brubaker, Councilman Lewis Metzner, Councilman Don Munson, and Councilwoman Penny Nigh. Two of our recent award winners from the Economic Development Commission and Chamber of Commerce joint event that we had for the Business Awards this year. Two recent award winners. Nonprofit Award Girls Inc. is here this morning. And the Washington County Business Person of the Year, Gay McGovern, is with us. So now we'll go ahead and get the program started. I'd like to ask the mayor to come up and join us on the stage, and we're going to hear the introduction and then a video.
Morning, everybody. So nice to see everybody here today. I want to thank my mom for being here. And stand up for moms. It's nice to see so many friendly faces. I'm glad John did the duty of recognizing all the elected officials that are here and other VIPs. Thank you all for being here. 2012, 2013 has been historical in many respects. In 2012, we celebrated the 250th anniversary of the founding of the city of Hagerstown. And last year, in 2013, we celebrated the 200th anniversary of the incorporation by the state of Maryland of the city of Hagerstown as we know it today. So, at this time of year and this occasion, the state of the city, I tend to reflect on the long arc of history, and keeping in mind those 250 years and everything that has happened in and around Hagerstown, how we truly are the hub city, and how we've grown and changed over time. You know, to me, cities are like organisms that grow and change and have a life of their own. And when we reflect on the life of the city of Hagerstown, we've had many great experiences and many wonderful things, products, and people have come out of the city of Hagerstown. And so it's an honor and a privilege for me to be here today as the mayor of Hagerstown and to address what the state of our city is. I believe our best days are still ahead of us, and the only constant is change. And my job as the mayor, and even in my job as a school counselor, I like to think of myself as a change agent. Certainly, I think everybody who's been in a position like this or has worked with government knows the government can work a little slowly at times, but truly we are a deliberative body, and so some things move faster than other things, but ultimately I think it is our job to make change happen. Hagerstown has been made and remade many, many times. One of my favorite things to do is to look at old maps of the city of Hagerstown. And you can see how buildings and places have changed and evolved over time. And I think in 2013 and in 2014 now, looking ahead, we have so much opportunity in the city of Hagerstown to create more change, more visible change, positive change. And you're going to hear in the video that you're about to see a lot about our values, things that we think are important. And I believe that these values can be what drives us to grow into the future. After the video, I'm going to set out a little bit of a challenge to everybody in the audience today about things that you can do to put our values into action so that we can achieve the shared vision that I know we all have for Hagerstown. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to the folks here and roll the videotape. Thank you so much.
I am proud to report the great progress that's been made across our city through 2013. These accomplishments and all of our work are tied to what we value as a community. By working in collaboration with all of our partners, we are putting our values into action to create positive change. Knowing who we are as a community helps us understand the best way for us to move forward.
We are a community that values the arts, creativity, and the entrepreneurial spirit. I enjoy attending performances at the Maryland Theater, and I'm a proud patron of the creative and unique small businesses throughout the city.
We are a community that values diversity and inclusivity. I enjoy attending the many events in Hagerstown that bring people together from diverse backgrounds across our community.
We are a community that values sustainability and green living. It's important that we maintain our infrastructure and responsibly use our resources to make sure we provide a strong community for future generations.
We are a community that values healthy, active lifestyles. I, like many others, like to ride the Hub City Bike Loop around Hagerstown and spend time in our 19 beautiful city parks.
We are a community that values and supports our neighborhoods. My neighbors are my friends. We look out for one another and take pride in our neighborhood. The City of Hagerstown is creating more opportunities for downtown development through the creation of the First Third Grant, a program that commits the city to provide grants up to $250,000 or 1/3 of a $750,000 project. The benefit also extends citywide, with grants up to $50,000 for an investment of $150,000 or more. Stanley Forage, an Idaho-based company, recently opened a Northeast distribution center along Virginia Avenue, thanks to the property owner making enhancements and participating with the First Third Grant. The owner had a positive experience working with city staff.
They laid down the red carpet as far as I was concerned. I think they recognized that this was a great opportunity with limited amount of tenants out there and to take an old building that, could be thrown back on the tax rolls and create jobs. They saw the benefit, and we found an incredible amount of support, and I want to thank them for that.
The city partnered with small businesses, both opening and relocating in our downtown. Take another look at 140 South Potomac Street. This historic property was purchased and stabilized by the city before a group of business owners bought it and transformed it into premium office space.
The Economic and Community Development Department was awesome to work with. And it was, again, a lot of moving parts. It could have been really complicated. But we trusted each other, and they did what they said they were going to do. And they worked really hard, the city especially, to get the deadlines made and the timeline that we had.
In 2013, 35 businesses celebrated grand openings and honored milestones.
The city established the competitive negotiated sale process, which ensures that property the city has purchased to both protect and restore returns to the private sector for the highest and best use. The property that houses the Rhubarb House and the Convention and Visitors Bureau was sold in 2013, and offers are currently being accepted for 43 to 53 West Washington Street and 170 West Washington Street.
The Mayor and Council is committed to seeing the continued growth and development of the Arts and Entertainment District. We dedicated thousands of dollars to supporting the Maryland Theater's new sound system and creative facade enhancements to the theater's office building. That support is extending through 2014, with a city commitment of $260,000 for the restoration of the inside of the theater.
The board of directors is just so thrilled that we're moving into our 100th anniversary year, which is next year, 2015, with great momentum and attention and care from community and local government. Our hope is that we have many of the large capital projects addressed by our 100th anniversary.
The city is proud of all of our community arts organizations and participated in celebrations like the reopening of the Singer Memorial Gallery at Washington County Museum of Fine Arts, the official grand opening of the Washington County Arts Council, and the dedication of Artist Alley with new signage in the A&E district.
The new Washington County Free Library opened its doors in 2013, expecting to draw 500,000 visitors each year. The city is thankful for the library's renewed commitment to our city center.
We love downtown. We know that it is a vibrant, wonderful place to live and work, and we know that this is just the beginning of a wonderful synergy of new life and energy for downtown Hagerstown.
There's so many different things you can read, so many different things you can learn about, and the best thing about a library is there's always someone here to help you.
This mayor and council approved a contract for a downtown economic analysis and implementation plan. The Philadelphia firm Urban Partners is assessing the downtown market, getting broad feedback from residents, businesses, and community stakeholders, and is preparing a plan to implement catalyst projects to spur development in our core.
Opportunities are growing for businesses across the city. Duvenage, a spiral and circular stair manufacturer, is expanding on the heels of the recession, acquiring Sharon Stairs out of Ohio. City, county, and state partners worked collaboratively to help provide funding to make the acquisition possible.
We would not have been able to acquire Sharon Stairs if it wasn't for the city of Hagerstown working with Washington County, navigating the economic development options for us and providing us a package of funding that allowed us to support the move of the equipment and the startup of the business.
In addition to grants from the city and Washington County, city staff took another creative path forward, securing a low-interest loan for $100,000 by matching state and city funds, a move that added more dollars to the Hagerstown Revolving Loan Fund to support businesses with microloans and low-interest loans for capital improvements.
The former Unilever facility is back online thanks to a cooperative of farmers, producing dairy products under the Shenandoah Family Farms label. Staff worked closely with the site selector to fast-track the purchase of the property.
I think it's going to be a great opportunity to work up here, work with the city of Hagerstown, work with the state of Maryland, and get involved with the community. I'm looking forward to the challenge, and not just challenge, we're going to do it.
Staff continued to deliver permits and licenses in a timely manner. In 2013, the average review time for building plans was just 15 calendar days. The city streamlines operations and strengthens efficiencies on an ongoing basis to better serve our customers.
We embrace embrace the diversity of our community, welcoming and respecting all people regardless of race, ethnicity, nationality, age, gender, sexual orientation, culture, and religion, and recognizing the strengths they can bring to Hagerstown.
The city supports organizations that celebrate diversity, like the Tri-State Multicultural Heritage Festival that was held this year in City Park. The Hispanic Festival, held each September at Fairgrounds Park, has grown to include local and even international talent. From food to education and entertainment, our community is able to immerse themselves in other cultures in new and exciting ways.
Diversity is not something to tolerate, but something to celebrate. Through the arts, you can understand better why we are more like loud or crazy, or for more people like it's different. But like I said, we are different, but it's something to celebrate. It's very boring, everybody's the same.
As part of the 150th anniversary of the Civil War, the city held a special ceremony at Rose Hill Cemetery to honor Hagerstonians who were involved in the conflict. After the war, a monument was built to honor white veterans of the Reno Post. In 2013, with the help of Maryland's Lieutenant Governor, the city rededicated that monument and dedicated a new monument to the Lion Post, an African-American Civil War veterans unit.
While we're here to remember all of our Civil War veterans, we are recognizing and honoring those participants, soldiers and civilians, who have been overlooked in previous ceremonies and memorials.
As part of the tribute, the Confederate cemetery was rededicated, and Jacob Wheaton's grave marker was restored. He's believed to be the first African American in the state to cast a vote after the war ended. You'll now also find a historical marker honoring Wheaton along South Potomac Street in the cemetery.
In 2013, the city partnered with more community organizations to bring new events to the city center, like Zumba Fest, an event that celebrated the Latin-inspired aerobic dance and featured several area Zumba instructors. Proceeds benefited the Community Free Clinic.
We're making our four-legged friends a bigger part of our community with the opening of Hagerstown's first dog park at Fairgrounds Park. The off-leash dog park draws people together from across the greater community, building new friendships, both dog and human alike. The park has been a huge success thanks to the work of a citizen task force that presented a comprehensive plan to council, and the local business community that provided over $22,000 for the creation of the park. Over 70 owners were able to show off their pups at the first Halloween dog costume parade that served as a prelude to the annual Mummers Parade.
The City of Hagerstown continues to support Character Counts. The Character Counts program provides a framework of universal values based upon 6 pillars: trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. These values transcend cultural, religious, political, and socioeconomic differences, thereby improving interactions in our community, creating a higher quality of life, and enhancing the image of our community.
Local governments are challenged with competing demands and must do more with less due to increasing costs and decreasing revenues. The city is a responsible steward of the environment and our resources, and it's clear our community is collectively moving in the same direction.
Since launching the new trash, recycling, and yard waste collection program in 2012, the city has seen an exponential growth in our recycling rates. In December of 2013, 240 tons of recycling were collected, a record for Hagerstown. This positive trend has also diverted 27% of our waste stream from the landfill.
The Hagerstown Light Division is helping our residents conserve energy in their homes thanks to a grant from the Maryland Energy Administration's Empower Maryland Clean Energy Communities Grant Program. The Hagerstown Light Division was able to distribute about 1,000 energy conservation kits to low to moderate income families.
The city is committed to serving our residents in their time of need. Staff partnered with the community organizations to see that the remaining balance in the Utility Relief Fund went to help residents who needed assistance paying their heating bills. A utility relief fair was held where residents could apply for the funds and find additional resources.
The city is responsible in maintaining our infrastructure to ensure longevity and consistent operation. The R.C. Wilson Water Treatment Plant underwent significant upgrades, some of which are still in progress. These changes allow us to provide our water customers an even better product while maintaining compliance with state and federal regulations.
The University District parking deck underwent repairs in 2013 to waterproof the roof, repair broken joints, and maintain the safe and sustained use of the parking facility, which is used by an average of more than 2,000 patrons each week.
New in downtown this year, free public Wi-Fi. This service was made possible through a partnership with Chief, the University System of Maryland at Hagerstown, and the city. Now visitors within a 1 to 2 block radius of Public Square can access the free wireless internet service. The city and USMH are providing security to the network so users can surf the web safely.
One more way the city enhanced its transparency is by offering more information on the city's website through an online agenda management system. Now, residents are not only able to see the agenda, but all the supporting material discussed in public session is available with the click of a mouse.
An active and moving community is a healthy community. In 2013, the city took new efforts to encourage people to exercise and make healthier lifestyle choices.
City-owned and managed parks and recreation facilities in Hagerstown are now smoke-free, with the exception of the greens at Hamilton Run and designated areas of Municipal Stadium. The Washington County Health Department supported the city in the creation of this new ordinance and helped celebrate the announcement. Students came from Girls Inc. and demonstrated the distance secondhand smoke can travel. The same distance you can blow a bubble. The change protects children by keeping smoke far away from their play areas.
The second phase of the Mills Park Trail is now complete, featuring a new trail that spans a wetland area and Hamilton Run with the use of a boardwalk and bridge. It also has a birdwatching area with educational signage. The city worked in partnership with the Morris Frock Post 42 American Legion, which provided an easement for construction of the new trail.
A new popular attraction at City Park, permanent seating at the bandshell. This new amenity makes entertainment at the bandshell more comfortable and enjoyable, and it's easier for staff to maintain and mow around. Look for even more seating to be added in 2014.
The Hub City Bike Loop was finished off with bicycle lane enhancements around Park Circle and an additional lane on Summit Avenue. The lanes improve safety for cyclists along the 10-mile course. The additions were fully funded through state grants.
The city continues to be more walkable. We extended sidewalks in the West End along Route 40, improvements that were fully grant funded. Also on Frederick Street, a culvert extension was designed and is about 50% complete. This will allow more sidewalks to be installed in that area.
Hundreds of people are making a point to get moving by recording 100 miles in 100 days. The Hub City 100-miler program launched in January of 2014, and more than 500 people are taking the challenge. Throughout the program, participants will learn new ways to get active in the city's parks and recreation facilities.
Other new events brought more people to our core, providing more opportunities for our community to rediscover downtown Hagerstown. The Department of Community and Economic Development organized an outdoor fitness series with yoga and Zumba classes held in University Plaza. The Hagerstown Police Athletic League hosted their first Reindeer Run and Walk 5K through the city center. And the wildly popular Crumpy's Donut Drop, organized by What's Next, attracted thousands of people for a mock midnight New Year's celebration. The city worked with these groups to ensure that these events were successful and well organized.
The city partnered with the local nonprofit HEAL, or Healthy Eating and Active Lifestyles, of Washington County for the first Color Splash, an interactive 5K that guarantees to cover you in colors by the end of the course. Participants ran through the fairgrounds and Pangborn parks before enjoying healthy snacks and treats at the finish line.
Neighborhoods are the heart of a community. From preserving traditions to building new relationships, the city strives to support pride and community in our neighborhoods. This mayor and council adopted a vision and commitment for housing and neighborhoods throughout the city, which emphasizes the value of diversity, safety, community pride, investment, maintenance, and identity for our neighborhoods. It will serve as a guide by which all neighborhood programs, initiatives, and proposed legislation will be measured.
Our residents are showing their pride and organizing occasions to celebrate their neighborhoods. The city supported the historic City Park neighborhood's first group's Art in the Park series held on Sunday afternoons in City Park, as well as their first annual sailboat regatta on City Park Lake. The Historic Heights neighborhood's first group organized a new tradition, Porch Fest. They closed South Prospect Street for a Saturday afternoon and offered musical performances on the porches of their historic homes.
People were really nice. The neighborhood's actually really nice. I'm born and bred in Hagerstown all my life, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
The Medal of Honor group held their annual Day of Hope event, uniting their neighbors and celebrating community.
Hagerstown South End has a new park to enjoy across from Bester Elementary School. The The first phase of Memorial Park was completed in 2013 with walking paths, landscaping, lighting, and benches. In 2014, the park will expand to feature highlights from Hagerstown's history and a tribute to notable Hagerstonians.
The city took action to protect the neighborhood at the western gateway to our downtown by purchasing 170 West Washington Street and demolishing the Holiday Motel. The city is actively marketing the property for a competitive negotiated sale to ensure the highest and best use of the building and property.
The Artist Housing and Gallery, known as the Studios on NoPo, is diversifying housing options in our downtown. Applications are being received from artists with a commitment to fostering the arts in our community. Those artists will live and create in the loft-style apartments and offer their work for sale in the first-floor storefront gallery.
Public safety enhancements are protecting our neighbors, businesses, and visitors. The Hagerstown Police Department reorganized staffing to enhance public safety visibility downtown. Auxiliary police are also working more hours during the day, evening, and weekends.
In collaboration with IT staff, the police department brought more than 100 crime cameras online to complete implementation of the public safety grid. The cameras are used to address crime trends and reduce nuisance issues in neighborhoods, providing a higher quality of life for residents. Incoming police officers are now receiving their training closer to home, thanks to a partnership between Hagerstown Community College, the Washington County Sheriff's Office, and Hagerstown Police Department. The first graduating class from the HCC Police Academy took their oaths in 2013, and 8 new officers joined the ranks of the City Police Department.
The Hagerstown Fire Department partnered with the First Hose Company to replace Engine 1, the oldest piece of apparatus in the department's fleet. And thanks to a grant from the Ben Roethlisberger Foundation, the Fire Marshal's Office is receiving a new resource, an explosive detection canine.
The future of Hagerstown lies in what we collectively choose to make it. It requires all of us, me, you, our residents, businesses, and stakeholders, to take ownership and be involved and engaged in our community. I challenge you to make these values real. Together, we can make a positive impact, make progress, and move Hagerstown forward.
Please give another round of applause. I'd like to thank all of the city staff for all the hard work they do day in and day out, not only to help make this production possible that you just saw, but for all the work that they do for the city of Hagerstown and citizens. Please give it up for city staff. Thank you. You know, last year I came here and I talked about how I don't possess a magic wand, that I only have a gavel. And guess what? There is no magic wand. I've been looking, and it just doesn't exist. The only way that we're going to make progress as a community is when we work together. I hate to use all kinds of trite sayings and phrases, but you know, there's that saying that the team effort is what makes it happen. And team is an acronym that stands for Together, Everyone Achieves More. And really, if there's anything that you could walk away from this event here this morning with, it's that idea that working together we can make a difference. We have worked to build a shared vision for what we want our community to be. We still have a lot of work to do. I'm very proud of the work that's been undertaken in conjunction with urban partners to gather stakeholder feedback in a very open way, and I look forward to the work we still have yet to do on those. But the city, we cannot achieve this vision that we all share alone. We must find projects that we can rally around as a community, operating on the basis of mutuality, not adversarialism, and build partnerships to get things done. You know, I like to look at data. I'm a data-driven decision maker, and one of the pieces of data that I found was that out of 290 votes that this city council has taken, 90% have been unanimous. And those are on things that we actually vote on in a special session, a regular session, action items. So I'm very proud of that because I think I've worked very hard to try to build a common ground, seeking common ground and finding that common ground to move us forward in the city of Hagerstown. And of course, that doesn't mean we're not going to have more courageous conversations to come. And we can't ignore the many challenges that we still face as a city. Declining property values. We just got final a determination of our constant yield, and the picture is still not pretty. We have low educational attainment, and we have to continue to address that. Poverty is still a problem. And all of these things persist despite constant effort and attention to address them. One of the questions that I want you to ask yourself is, what can I do to take action, to be a part of this change? Well, when it comes to supporting the arts and entertainment and entrepreneurialism, I would ask you to ask yourself, how many times do you go downtown to eat at a restaurant in a given month? Or to go to a production at the Washington County Playhouse, or the Maryland Theater, the Academy Theater, the Barbara Ingram School for the Arts, a production of the Potomac Playmakers. Visit a downtown art gallery. If you haven't been to Just Lookin', it's been there for 20 years now on the uniblock of Summit Avenue. I would highly recommend you check that out. Patronize downtown businesses. Rethink your spending habits. Every time you spend $1, you're voting for something. You're supporting something, and by traveling with your feet or getting in your car, you are also voting and making a choice. Buy and renovate a building downtown and take advantage of the First Third Grant Program. Embrace diversity and inclusivity by going and just smiling at random people and saying hello. It's sort of the Patch Adams approach to interacting with people. Eat at a different ethnic restaurant. Attend one of the many festivals we have that celebrate the diversity we have in our community. Get involved with youth. Become a mentor. Volunteer. Incorporate character counts into your business. And remember that celebrating diversity is good for business. When it comes to sustainability and green living, what can you do? Well, we can all continue to increase the energy efficiency at home. We can plant trees and gardens. We can join a community garden. We can patronize the city market and buy local. When it comes to healthy, active lifestyles, ride a bike. Use the enhanced bike lanes that we have all around the city. Enjoy one of our neighborhood walks. Outside we have some maps that have our bike routes and also our neighborhood walking routes. Enjoy a nice walk. It'll be getting warm here soon, and I know everyone's gonna get out there and start becoming more active. Join a 5K or another event. I'm very proud of the Hub City 100 Miler that's going on right now, challenging the community to keep active and move at least a mile a day for 100 days. Take a smoking cessation class. Shed some girth. Use the new fitness equipment that's going to be installed at Fairgrounds Park. When it comes to supporting our neighborhoods, sign up for City College to learn more about the city and how to get involved. Visit Engage Hagerstown. On your table, you might have seen a square card that had some information about how you can share your opinion, get involved, and engage. And I would encourage you to utilize that. Every voice is important. Join or start a Neighborhoods First group. Be a good neighbor. Patronize neighborhood businesses like Gordon's, Startsman's, or Dick's. We continue to strive to build public-private partnerships, or even public-public partnerships. Partnerships in general is our aim. So with that, I just want to leave everybody with a quote. And again, I go back to the long arc of history. Everything that I think that we do as a city council should really be very future-oriented and trying to think about the 7 generations that are to come and how our decisions will impact them. And I'm often reminded of the quote, I think Robert Kennedy's paraphrased George Bernard Shaw when he said, "Some men see things as they are and say, why? I dream things that never were and say, why not?" I hope that everybody stays positive and stays focused. As the kids say, stop hating. Because hate and fear doesn't get us anywhere. So with that, I want to thank you again for being here. Thanks for listening to the State of the City, and at this time I want to welcome my fellow council members up to take your questions. It's always nice to share the fun and the heat. Come on up. And thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And as we welcome the council up to the stage, go over the ground rules, as is the custom with these events. This event, obviously, from this point forward, won't work very well if everybody in the audience doesn't consider picking up one of the 3.5 by 5 cards and a pen out of your pocket and possibly writing down a question for the council. I did come with a few to get us started, but as we've done in the past, this is a lot more successful if the questions come from you. So I encourage you to do that. Chamber staff will be kind of milling around the room, and if you do have a question and do wish to ask it, please just simply raise the card up and one of the staff members will be by to pick it up. Not sure I like the design of this room and everybody behind me. So with this, we'll go ahead and get started. First question this morning, with so much riding on the success and the continued progression of the Arts and Entertainment District, what can you, as the City Council and the Mayor, tell us this morning about the support that the City of Hagerstown is lending to the Maryland Theater, to the museum, to the symphony, and any of the businesses that support that area of Center City?
I'll take that one right off the bat, because I did forget to mention, and I'm glad that came up, we have some staff today and some other important folks in the community, I think as we speak down the road, accepting an award that our Arts and Entertainment District received. It was a statewide award, a governor's citation, for all of the great partnerships that have been working in the Arts and Entertainment District. And I think it's really important for us to recognize that as the heart of our downtown, especially when it comes to our revitalization efforts. Of course, everybody knows about the donation to the Maryland Theater for their capital improvements, but I expect that the city will be asked for and will, I think, be willing to positively participate in an effort to continue improving programming at the Maryland Theater, as well as future capital expenditures when it comes to expanding the footprint of the Maryland Theater. So I look forward to those ongoing discussions, and I think, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think I speak for all of us by saying that the Arts and Entertainment District is widely recognized as the heartbeat of our downtown at the moment.
May I make a comment?
Please.
Regarding that? I think you will find in speaking to the individual members of the council that the council is unified on making progress, enhancing and developing the Maryland Theater. I think it's fair to say that regardless of what UPS, that's Urban Partners, comes up with, that one of the keystones to downtown development is the Maryland Theater. And we're going to continue working as hard as we can as a council to make sure that there's progress there and that there's the opportunity on a much greater basis than in the past to bring people to downtown Hagerstown.
Thank you all. Second question, kind of a follow-on to the end of that answer, is what is the plan for reviewing and considering the implementation of the Urban Partners report and ultimately the recommended projects?
I'll take that one. We have a work session planned for April 8th. So in just a few weeks, we'll be expecting Urban Partners to bring forth their 8 recommended projects for the City Council to endorse. Now, their recommended projects will have come out of this entire process of gathering stakeholder feedback, having individual interviews, focus groups, attending meetings of the Planning Commission, other important organizations in the community that have ideas about how we can grow. So I think we're all waiting with with anticipation for the April 8th work session. We are working with, of course, anybody who has an idea about a project for downtown. We remain very open-minded about these projects. The idea and the main goal is to make sure that there is a market analysis and a feasibility study that shows viability for the projects that are being proposed. So I know that'll be of very important interest to the council as we receive that list. The list will be debated, I'm sure, and hopefully we will have that finalized. The plan is by June, we will have the pro formas and other products ready to go on those 8 catalyst projects. In addition, I expect there will be other smaller projects such as neighborhood improvement projects or streetscape enhancements, other things that the city can do to make those recommendations possible.
Yes, I just want to emphasize that this process, which has been partially reported in the media, is something that we got a state grant to do this, but the state grant was very general. Staff brought us proposals last fall, brought the council proposals. We told them to go back and work on it. It was a good start, but we wanted to really emphasize investment in marketing, not be another general planning study. And the staff did an excellent job in bringing this particular group of consultants to the council. They seem to have a lot of practical experience, and that was the emphasis. So again, as the mayor said, there's no magic wand. We don't know if, this process will do it, but we're trying to find realistic ways, and part of it will bring, part of the difficulty will be to bring this community, by the community I mean the county, the tri-state area, into once again participating in downtown Hagerstown, and that's going to be a long-term effort.
Thank you. Last year, the Art Museum in the City Park welcomed over 45,000 visitors from 45 states, 25 foreign countries, and the District of Columbia. How can we better connect the Museum of Fine Arts and the City Park with the A&E District and efforts through the historic neighborhoods of South Prospect Street and the historic, and as it travels down to the historic park? So I think in summary, what can we do to connect the Art Museum and the City Park to the other arts and entertainment related efforts and historic preservation efforts with different neighborhoods?
No one else is jumping up to answer these questions, so I'll certainly jump in. I've often said that the City Park is like a second A&E district bubble, if you will. And so it is very important that we look for ways to connect downtown and City Park, the Arts and Entertainment District, and all the arts infrastructure that we have and assets that we have at City Park. We do have an identified neighborhood walk. There is an actual designated walk that connects downtown up West Washington Street and then down South Prospect to City Park, but we can do more to enhance and advertise those kinds of things in terms of signage, making sure that folks know, visitors know what to look for. But also I think key to that will be, again, attracting more residents to live in the downtown. So building the neighborhood between the Arts and Entertainment District and City Park will be very important. The area where we were talking about building a stadium is still ripe for redevelopment. And so what we do in terms of redevelopment of that whole swath of land that lies between downtown, the A&E District, and City Park, which was, for anyone who's a history buff, built out of swampland over many, many years, and was industrialized for much of that time. It's important that we re-envision that area to build the neighborhood between those two assets. So that doesn't clearly answer the question, but it certainly does bring up an idea that is already on our radar. So thank you.
Switching gears, your workers' compensation insurance nearly doubled this year. This could not have come as a surprise. What was done last year to prevent and prepare for this? What assurances can you give us that this will not continue to spiral out of control?
None. One needs to understand what's going on with workman's comp. This spiraling of workman's comp costs are not only the city of Hagerstown, it's Washington County, it's volunteer firefighters, and it's not because of injuries. The state of Maryland, correctly or incorrectly, some time ago has made a decision that if you're in public safety, meaning you're a firefighter or a police officer, and you get cancer or you get heart disease, that is a automatic compensable, quote, injury. So what's driving up workman's comp rates all across the state are not injuries occurred at work. They're older and or retired or active firefighters or police officers that have heart disease or cancer. And these are automatically compensable, and that is what is driving up this rate. What we as a city and a community have got to try to do is preventative on the disease level, but I think many people think that there's a great deal of genetics involved with that. So as long as those things exist, heart disease and cancer, with public service employees in the firefighting and the police, we're going to continue to have these increases.
Thank you. What are you doing to increase the base rental rates to help building owners attract higher paying tenants?
I would throw that question back to whomever is asking it. Because in order to increase values in the city of Hagerstown, we've got to look at our values and what's important to us. And there's a lot of discussion about property rights, but we don't hear a lot about property responsibilities. And it is not the responsibility of the city of Hagerstown to maintain every property in the city of Hagerstown. So we really are looking to set the bar high when it comes to development, obviously for public health and safety and welfare, but also when it comes to trying to attract the kinds of residents that we want in downtown. We really rely on private property owners to set their own bar high and to make investments in their property that will attract people who are willing to pay higher rents.
I think the video illustrated just a part of the many incentive programs, the many things we're trying to do to give business a leg up. If we get enough businesses, if we find the catalyst that spurs a greater overall presence in the storefronts and the upper stories downtown, that by itself will start an upward rent spiral. And frankly, if the kinds of demand that are experienced in the metropolitan area cities ever reaches here, that will drive it up. I mean, those cities went through those kinds of periods decades ago. So we need to create the demand, and that by itself will bring rents up, which in turn will start the upward spiral. I don't think we're there. I think we were getting close to it when the 2008 crisis hit. But we don't have that, magic catalyst of development downtown yet, but we sure are working at it.
Along those lines, any ideas or thoughts for the old hospital site?
The mayor wants to put a baseball stadium there.
I do still think that's the best place to put a new stadium. Sorry. We don't need another housing project there, that's for sure.
Belongs to the hospital. It belongs to the hospital. The hospital's going to do what they want to do.
If we could get a middle or upper income mixed-use commercial and residential development with some green space, that's what I always would think would be best there. But you have to have the market for it. I remember several years ago, a person around here was wanting us to take that over, saying it would be great for a high-rise, a luxury high-rise, that would be a great thing to do. But I don't think it is, and I don't think that ever would have worked.
Is there, in the same vein, is there any potential for a sports complex or multi-use facility to be built near the downtown core?
Is there a possibility? Absolutely. What we need is a plan, we need partners, we need a developer, we need an operator, we need tenants, and we need financing. So if we can line all those things up, I think you certainly have a partner in me. I still believe that building a facility, and it doesn't have to be an either-or discussion, whether we build one indoor for indoor sports, because I think that indoor sports are great, and there are many things that a mixed-use indoor facility can do. And I also think a major outdoor facility where you can gather up to 5,000 people all in one place in our community is also a good thing. I think attracting a professional baseball team to be a primary tenant in a stadium will be important for the viability of any kind of facility like that to happen, but it's not just about baseball. I know that some people in this community just shiver every time we start talking about this again, but I think this is one of those things where, in my opinion, having listened to this conversation for 2 decades, starting when I was a bat boy for the Hagerstown Suns back in the late 80s, one thing that's very interesting about the evolution of the conversation is that we're no longer talking about which interstate we might build a facility like this next to. We're talking about where near the core or in the core of our city, where could we build such a facility. So I think I'm looking forward to continuing that conversation, although I know there are many folks who would like to just stop talking about it. I remain open to it. I think the effort has to be community driven. It cannot be a city-led endeavor. And if there are private investors in the community who are willing to explore acquiring a team, I think the only way a new stadium facility will be successful is if there's local community ownership that isn't going to ever threaten to take a team away to the next city that's willing to build them a new stadium. We build the stadium for us as a community, not for a baseball team or any other business entity, but we have to have a plan. It has to be feasible. We have to have partners to make it happen.
North Cannon, the gateway to the fairgrounds, has seen an increase in crime and a decline in curb appeal. How do you plan to clean this area up?
Well, I think that's an important gateway also into the city. I think, again, working with neighbors is the best way to get these things done. It's not something where the city is going to come in and say, this is what we're going to do. If there's no buy-in from the neighborhood in the community, then we're not going to be able to make those kinds of things possible. So I would say we could start by informing residents of the kinds of help that is available. If there are property owners who are renting their properties, to let them know what kind of help is available for any kind of improvements to their properties. Addressing crime is the best way to do that is call the police. If you see a crime happening, make sure you report anything to the police, even if it's someone lifted something from your front porch. The only way we're going to be able to address those kinds of things is if everybody is doing their part to address those kinds of problems. So I'd say it's going to take a team effort, the city working with residents and property owners in the neighborhood to make that improvement.
How will the city fill the gap created by the state's cuts to highway user revenues?
Well, we've maintained service. We've made it up with taxpayer dollars and the efforts of staff and increased efficiency and but we're still paving our streets, unlike many municipalities. You know, the city, I'm going to expand on that a little bit. We've made our payments to our pension funds. We've kept an appropriate surplus. We've done the right things financially. Unfortunately, we got penalized for it when the assessments went down. But, you know, we've kept our head above water. How much longer we can keep doing that? You know, we'll have to really work on it. It's going to take a concerted effort, and not just at City Hall, but throughout our community to sustain the quality services we have now. You know, and that's just one example where funding has been taken away. I serve on the MML Legislative Committee, and we've hit the state officials very hard on this, and so has the county organization, MACO, trying to get those funds restored on a permanent basis. You know, they were cut from down to 7% of their original total in 2008 as the state met its crisis. And the state is also not meeting some of its pension fund obligations, as I understand it. Whether that will turn out to be the case after the legislative session, I don't know. But, so the highway user revenues, I still hold out hope that they'll come back. There's the municipalities are getting a one-time, last year and this year, 16 million, but it's not guaranteed in future years. And we wish the counties can get their part back too. That helps us. So we're doing it. How much longer we can sustain, I don't know.
Okay, we have reached the 9 o'clock hour. So with that, we will conclude this morning's program. Again, on behalf of the chamber and everybody that's here, I'd like to thank the mayor and council for your willingness to participate this morning, and for the fantastic video that we saw earlier. I'd also like, for those in the room that are chamber members, I'd like to draw your attention to two upcoming events. On the 20th of March, our business after hours, it's at the University System of Maryland at Hagerstown, where I would entice you to be there by saying that the drawing for that evening is up to $3,500. So if you'd like to be there, I think you do have to register, so call the chamber office. Make sure that you're on the list. Also on the 26th is a morning mixer at 7:30 at Labor's Office Furniture downtown. So with that, again, thank you all for being here this morning. Thanks to the mayor and council again. Have a wonderful day.